Aloha, hockey fans. Welcome to first ever Bluenote Fan Report preseason ranking show. That's right, I'm going to rank the teams this year. These are my power rankings, how I feel about the teams. You may feel differently. I've started a chat group with some few people, and we're talking about it and maybe moving teams around here and there. I'm going to try and make this a weekly segment. Bear in mind, this is just how I feel the teams are, their strengths. Going to go over some of their strengths and weaknesses with you. And let's see how this comes out. So let's start with number 31. And is there a doubt? The easiest two positions are going to be 31 and 1. And 31 is the Ottawa Senators. Last season, they were 29, 47, and 6. They had 64 points. Remember that. The only bright spot is Brady Tkachuk, Walt's youngest son. He is really showing what he's got out there, and I think what he knows is that the only way he's going to get out of Ottawa is outperform, so they got to trade him. And that's what I think he's going to do. They have a very bad owner. In Ottawa, you should draw a big crowd all the time, and they can't. They need a new ownership group. They need new management. This team's a mess. It's not going anywhere. So, at number 30, I put the Anaheim Ducks. Last season, they were 35, 38, and 10. They had 80 points. Beginning the middle of the season, they were hot. And then all of a sudden, they just took a dump. I mean, they have Ryan Getzlaf and Josh Gibson, two big teams, are big players. You know, Gibson's considered one of the best goalies in the league, and it really looks like this team just going to be jumped. My opinion. Okay, moving on to 29. 29, we have the Detroit Red Wings. Now, I would not be surprised to see the Red Wings leap out of this spot. Last season, they 22, pardon me, my eyes are messing up with me, so it's hard for me to see. 32, 40, and 10 for 74 points. They've got a lot of young talent, a lot of speed. And then they brought in Stevie Yzerman. Yeah, I know that's a hard name. Brought him in as a GM. He was the GM down in Tampa, and he created that juggernaut. Let's see what he can do with Detroit. Moving along. 28, the LA Kings. The Kings, same thing. They had some good last year and some bad. They finished 31, 42, and 9 for 71 points. They were the last place in the West. They should move up. Todd McCullough's the new coach. I think he's going to really give them a bit of a spark. But I don't see them being much more. And they're in a weak division, so you never know. 27. Now this one is going to surprise a lot of people. I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. Last season, they were 47, 31, and 4 for 98 points and snuck in, got that last spot in the playoff, and made some noise. However, to do that, at the trade deadline, they went all in. Made a bunch of trades, got rid of draft picks. They got rid of everybody, and you know what? Nobody stayed. Babosky left, Panarin left. I mean, it was just a map test of this. I think this team is going to fall on hard times. 26, I have the Buffalo Sabres. 33, 39, and 10 for 76 points. And they had a really good start to the season. Carter Hutton looked like he was the man. And then he went, you know what, Hutton? This is your time to break out. You got Jack Eichel there. He could be traded, though. So I wouldn't be surprised with that unless Hutton really shows something. 25. Another team that might surprise people that I've got in this low is the Edmonton Oilers. They were 35, 38, and 9 for 79 points. They have the NHL's best player, according to NHL TV, their rankings 1 to 50, and Connor McDavid. He needs to make the team around him better. Between McDavid and Draisaitl, they combined for 221 points. The next 5 players had 222. That's not moving points around. That's not getting everybody else involved. That's what they've got to do up there in Edmonton. They really got to get people involved. New coach, new system. Let's see what can happen. I still have a feeling this team's got a ways to go. 24, Philadelphia Flyers. I'm sorry. I know, and God, I just blanked out my video friend. She's going to be, you guys all know her. She does all the great videos, the funny ones. Her team is the Flyers, and last season, 37-8, 82 points. I mean, right down the line, 50%. They showed signs of getting it together. They have a new coach. The NHL started this thing they call Behind the Glass, which is training camp, sort of like the NFL's done and the NBA, and I think Major League Baseball is doing it now. They got on the bandwagon, but Philadelphia, I've watched a couple sessions of it, and Philadelphia just does not look good at all. Carter Hart, what are you going to be, bud? It's your time. 23, another team that's going to surprise some people that I have them here is the Minnesota Wild. They were 37-36-9 for 83 points. They're just the worst team in a tough division. And that's not saying much against them. You know, they're a good score. They got a good core. It's just the division's so good. You know, it's really hard in that division they're in. That's a draw. 22, the Vancouver Canucks. Last season, 35-36-11, 81 points. And you know what? They're in a weak division that should help them maybe move up, get something going. This team's just blotting me. I couldn't come up with anything to say. They just feel blotted, right? They're just blotted. 21, the New Jersey Devils. Now, the next couple of teams here are teams that had really good off seasons, and a lot of people would put them higher. But I'm looking at the fact is from where they were to where they are now is a huge jump, and they've got to prove it on the ice to go higher. Last season, 31-41-10, 72 points. Bottom of the barrel, but they won the draft lottery. Picked Jack Hughes and got PK Subban. You know, that's going to help that defense. It's going to help that team. They're going to move up. Oh, man, I'm blanking out. This is going to be a good team. They have a good management group. The GM, his name slips me. I know I should know it. Dominic, not Hasek. Oh, God. Okay, you guys should do it. Devils at 21. Let's move on. 20, I have the New York Rangers. Again, this is another team that had a great draft. They were 36-32-14 for 86 points. The runner-up in the lottery, they got Kaiko Kako, and you know, he's going to be good for them. He was a man among boys, and he played with men. He knows what he's doing. You know, they got the bread man, but, you know, goaltending, that's kind of their question. They shore that defense and the goaltending up, this team can make some noise. The next team that I kind of see moving up that had a great offseason was the Florida Panthers. They were 32-36-14 for 78 points. They have Barkov, who's one of the better forwards in the league. And then they picked up Pavelski in goal. You know, that's a huge lift right there to get Pavelski. I mean, you've seen what he did for Columbus. He can do the same thing for Florida. This turns them into a playoff team. 18, here's a team that I've dropped pretty far down in the rankings. Now, some of this might be biased, but I just have a feeling that this team is going to have a fall off. I think other teams in the division got better, and they didn't, and that's the Winnipeg Jets. They're 47-30-5 for 99 points. They're second in the Central. They backed into the playoffs. They led that division most of the season. They have some early injuries. They had a lot of stars, but no constellations. Right? What I mean by that, there's a star here, there's a star there, there's a star there, there's a star there, but they don't connect. They don't make anything. They don't make an Orion's Belt. You know, they don't make a Capricorn. They don't make anything. And until they become a constellation, this team doesn't go anywhere. At 17, okay, Louis, I am sorry. I know you're going to shoot me. But you know what? I'm not that high. Everyone else is high. I'm not that high on the Golden Knights. Last season, 43-32-7 for 93 points. And they went from winning the division in their first year to dropping to third. That's a kind of a huge drop. And not only that, they got bounced in the first round. Now, it was a controversial bounce, but they still got bounced in the first round. They're a good team, and I really do believe that, but it just got this gut feeling this could be a really tough year for them. At 16, I have the Habitants, the Montreal Canadiens. Last season, 44, 30, and 8 for 96 points. They missed the playoffs on the tiebreaker. They have an all-world goalie in Price. Give him some support, and this team's in the playoffs. And in the playoffs, I think they can do some damage. Young team. Montreal needs to be in the playoffs, and they need to be a good team in the playoffs. Haven't won a cup since '93. 15. Here's another team that I think is falling, and I actually can see this team not making the playoffs. Is the Pittsburgh Penguins. 44, 26, and 12 for 100 points. Got swept in the first round by the Islanders. Murray's dropping off, and like I said, would not be surprised if they missed the playoffs. Moving along to 14. I know. If I could not put them on, I wouldn't put them on, but they're part of the league, so I have to. At 14 is the Chicago Blackhawks. 36, 34, and 12 last year. 84 points. They were moving up. They had a good offseason. That's important. Good draft pick. They have the best, what I think could be the best goalie tandem in the league. Between Crawford and Leitner, that was a mistake by the Islanders giving up Leitner. I'm telling you, this team could they could rule the Central Division. Yes, I said that. Oh, I can't believe I said that. I can feel the cotton in my mouth. So let's move on. 13, the New York Islanders, another team that I probably have lower than a lot of people, but I think I have higher than what they are, actually. Last season, 36, 34, and 12 for 103 points. They swept Pittsburgh in the first round and got swept in the second by the Hurricanes. The loss of Leitner is huge. I don't know if they can overcome it. We'll see. You really should have given, the fact that he only went to Chicago for a year, I think you could have picked him up. The money, he was there to be had. And the guy, I understand. So here's my thing with Leitner. You got to give this guy credit. Leitner, at the beginning of last year, went to the Islanders and told them, I'm bipolar. And they got around him. The management group got around him. The team got around him. They helped this man. And Leitner showed it on ice. If Chicago does the same thing, watch out. At 12, this is another team that I think I've gotten too high at the beginning, but it's the San Jose Sharks. Last season, they were 46, 27, and 9, second in the Pacific. 101 points. They made it to the Western Conference Finals, where they lost to, I'm not sure what team they lost to. They had a really eventful playoffs, obviously, and an offseason. I just kind of see a rough road ahead for this team. Maybe I'm wrong, and I get that, but this is another one of them gut feelings just coming and wrenching on me. So let's move to number 11. Another team that I've dropped down that people might have higher is the Nashville Predators. 47, 29, and 6 with 100 points last year. I've talked to a few friends, and a lot of them don't think that P.K. Subban is that big of a loss. I think he is. I think P.K. Subban brought something to that team and in that locker room. He brought some flair. He brought some creativity. He brought, what's the other word I'm looking for? Flamboyancy to the team that kind of needed it. And it worked. Playoffs, different story. Dallas was just on, Ben Bishop's on fire. You got to understand that. Patrick Laine was the same way 2 years ago when they went to the finals. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago. 1, 2, 3, 3 seasons ago. So that's what, how I kind of feel. I just think they were back-to-back Central champs, and I don't think that's going to happen 3 times. So let's get into the top 10. At number 10, this one is going to shock a lot of people, but I have the Arizona Coyotes. 30, 35, and 8 for 86 points. They are scoring more than 86 points this year. With Keller, Larson, and now adding Kessler, with that experience, this team is going to challenge for the division. I'm absolutely positive of that. Now, I've talked to a few friends, and they think I'm wrong, but I'm going to stick with this for now. Tell me what you think in the comments. Move on to number 9. Number 9, I have the Carolina Hurricanes. Last season, 48, 29, and 7 for 99 points. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they were swept by Boston. I think the Storm Surge with Edmondson, good luck Eddie out there, could make some waves. Unintended. Number 8, another team that I think is on the rise and that's shocking people, the Colorado Avalanche. 38, 30, and 14. They were the last team to get into the playoffs, and they just went there and made some damage happen. Knocked out the number 1 seed, and then took the Sharks to 7 games, and if it wasn't for a phantom offsides in my eyes, they could have been playing the Blues in the Western Conference Finals and not the Sharks. Young and hungry team. 7, the Dallas Stars. The Stars last season were 43, 32, and 7 for 93 points. They had a really good offseason. They've got one of the top goalies in the league in St. Louis and Ben Bishop. They added Povovsky from the Sharks. They're just going to make the Central Division tough to win. I mean, whoever comes out of the Central Division scares me because they can be kind of beat up. This division is tough. Moving on to number 6. Number 6, we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. Probably have them a little bit lower than others. Last season, 46, 28, and 8 for 100 points. It's time for Matthews to shine. Buddy, you are and should be, if not number 2, number 3 in the league. Get out there and make people around you better. It's your time. The Maple Leafs had a good playoff run, even though they lost in 7, and that was a great first-round series. And actually, I got to admit, I like the way the playoffs are set up, that you have good teams getting knocked out early. I think that it allows for some upsets, and it also allows for the unpredictability of the playoffs. That's what I love about the NHL playoffs. Number 5, Calgary Flames. Right now, I have them here, but I think they are going to drop. Last season, they were 50, 25, and 7. Most points in the Western Conference. They got young stars. They're hungry. Matthew Tkachuk, Matt, look, buddy, I love you, but you've got to stop with the nonsense. You are a skilled player. Be that player. You be that skilled player and make players better around you, this team does something. You don't, and you play with that reckless abandon, you could easily see yourself missing the playoffs, even though I got you started at 5. Number 4, the Washington Capitals. Stanley Cup champs 2 seasons ago, 48, 26, and 8, 105 points. All I got to say is this. Ovechkin, Orlov, Oshie, Holtby. I mean, team's loaded. All right, that's just 4. And they go up and down. Wilson, God, you know what? You can play hockey. They're loaded up, down, center. Got to give it to them. At number 3, yes, I had to put the Boston Bruins at 3. They were 49, 24, and 9 for 107 points. Second in their division. They ended up being the Eastern Conference champs. The team is loaded. Biggest problem I have with this team is Brad Marchand. I'm going to put a statement out there, and I hope, guys, people will fill it out down in the comments below. Brad Marchand is the player in hockey. I have so many words I could put in that blank spot. You tell me what you think. Let's hear it. Number 2. Number 2 are Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. Yes. They ended up in 3rd place in the division, 1 point out of the champ spot. 45, 28, 9 for 99 points. Basically, this is the same team coming back, with the exception of Maroon and Edmondson. Everyone else is there. Justin Falk should help the team be better on defense. Let's see what happens. Number 1, the Tampa Bay Lightning. A lot of people think that's sweet, that they shouldn't be here. But this team is loaded. Not only are they loaded, they've added Maroon and Shattenkirk. Now, this was their season last year. 62 wins, 16 losses, and 4 OTs for 128 points. Now, do you remember how many points I said the last place team had? The Ottawa Senators had 64 points. The Lightning doubled them up. There was a 64-point difference between first and last in this division. Kucherov, he scored 128 points. He got the Hart Trophy. He is the heart and soul of this team. They've got a lot around him. They can move up. I just look for them to be that team. Well, there you go. There's my power rankings. Now, one thing I want to put out about these rankings, they were actually done before the start of the season. I just didn't get a chance to film it. So the games that have happened since October 2nd haven't mattered. They haven't counted. They haven't been part of it. This is how I see it. Tell me how you see it. What team do I have too high? What team do I have too low? Which teams do I got just right? Let me know. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, saying, I'm bleeding blue with you. Aloha, mahalo, and I'll see you on the next Bluenote Fan Ranking Report.